I'm very excited to be joined today by Mr. Nate Ingham, the starting goalie for Atletico Ottawa. Nate, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Keith. How you doing?
Not too bad at all. They say that you're a goaltender. They say that you are a goalkeeper, excuse me. But they didn't tell me that you also had time with Cirque du Soleil because as I was watching last week's game, clearly you're an acrobat because you spent most of it on your head saving some potential goals. And in the end, another clean sheet to you, sir. So congratulations on the win.
Thanks. No, very kind of you. I appreciate the compliment, but I don't know if I could jump in and with the Cirque du Soleil crew.
Well, they might come calling, but tell them you're busy. So, first of all, congratulations. I mean, this has been an interesting season. Of course, started off with some difficulties, but in all things, you kind of learn from the losses and go from there. And you guys have really turned the season around. What do you attribute that to?
We just needed to add a couple pieces that just made our system work. We lost a few key players last year. Ben McKendry being one of them. I was Sissoko being another. We didn't really replace a six. Then we had Acosta playing out of position. It was tricky, and then we had some key injuries. Right, like I was out for a month. We didn't have our captain, Carl, for the first half of the season. Really, Tissot was in and out with injuries, so it was just a lot. And it's a young locker room. We really needed the experience there every day, especially on the road. And it just, yeah, if you have a young locker room like we decided to go with this year, you have to kind of bring them along with you. And when you have your experienced guys that weren't there every day, it made it very difficult. So the guys have stepped up since. The young guys have really been showing up, and then we added a couple key pieces, and we're moving right along.
Now, in retrospect, I mean, you never wish for these things, of course, but in retrospect, do you feel that as a team, it was beneficial for you to go through those hard times because now you guys are really gelling as a team and you can look back on what wasn't working and then understand like that's kind of fed this level of hunger and I wouldn't say new, but this increased playing style. So long-winded. Let me rephrase. Do you feel that going through that kind of helped you get to where you are now?
Um, you know, Now that it's done, you have to go with that narrative, right? Like you don't hope for it. I would have rather been playing better football from the beginning and then grow from that. But the reality is, you can't change the past. And yeah, you can draw from it. You can learn from it. Definitely. What you said is 100% correct. And like I said, that's the narrative we have to go with because you move on, right? Like you
Mhm.
can't overthink things. So it sucks losing. It's good for again new pros to come in and see how miserable it is losing at this level and see that jobs are on the line and watch guys get moved out and watch guys come in and no one's safe, and it's a bit of a reality check for everyone. No one holds your hand at this level, and yeah, maybe that's a bit of motivation, but the reality is we kind of work through it, and it's really difficult to turn a difficult start into something positive. And the fact that we were able to turn around mid-season, a lot of groups can't do that. A lot of groups have to wait and rebuild at the end of the year or kind of give up on the season. So there's a lot of positives you can take from a group that has the determination and has the ability to kind of turn something around. 10 games into a year.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Now, several weeks ago, I had the opportunity of chatting with one of your teammates, Sean Melvin, co-goalkeeper. Now, a lot of teams, you have multiple defenders, you have multiple midfielders, you have multiple strikers. We have two goalkeepers. One of he spoke very fondly of you. I'm interested. What is the relationship like with you two? Because unfortunately, unlike other positions, the goalkeeper position doesn't tend to get substituted unless there's an injury. I mean, if you're starting, you're finishing. So that
Yep.
obviously means there's a lot of playing time for yourself. So tell me, what is the relationship and the dynamic? Because I know obviously you two would lean on each other quite a lot in terms of practice and preparation.
Yeah, yeah, we do, and I get this question a ton my whole career, even through university into the pros, everything, because it's really hard for people to understand that you can battle with someone for the same job and get along. But I mean, once you get over, that and that mindset does exist when you're young. like when you're, adolescent, 14, 15-year-old, but add that to a long list of problems, right?
Yeah.
But any 15-year-old would have, but as you get older, you're on the same team, and I'm not making the decision if I'm playing or he's playing, right?
Mhm.
It's the coach. So there's no resentment between us, whoever's chosen.
Mhm.
And the better he is, the better I'm going to be. Because like you said, we rely on each other every day in training. Like the goalkeepers work together. My service is what he gets for shots, along with our goalkeeper coach, and until we jump in with the team. So we rely on each other to be better every single day. And uh, listen, if all your goalkeepers are playing well, that's a good thing. And generally speaking, if your starter's not playing well, that kind of drops into the other group,
Mhm.
and then the backup's not playing well. And I always say, and this is just a good rule for any young person, like I don't want the job because I'm playing bad and he's playing worse, right?
Mhm.
I want the job because he's playing well and I'm better.
Okay.
And he has that same mindset, right? So we come in every day, we work our best. I know I mean, I love this team so much, and I want to win for a long list of reasons. And I know if something happens to me, which it did this year, he stepped in and he did the job, right? And when I came back from injury, there's no guarantee that I'm going to play again. If we're winning, that's the reality, right? No matter how good I played last year, no matter how good I started the season, if I'm out injured and he's playing and we're winning games, I do not come back, right?
Mhm.
That's how it goes. So we support each other. We have a lot of fun together, and yeah, he's a great guy, great goalkeeper. It's a good relationship.
I love that. I love that. Now, last weekend, I felt like I spent a good part of the weekend at TD Place. There was the basketball team, the Ottawa Blackjacks, had a game on Thursdays. My first time going to one of their games. Very, very fun if you've never checked it out. Friday night was the Ottawa Red Blacks. Went through some rain. We're okay. We made
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And that. Then Saturday, the finale, we've got Atletico taking on, at the time, I believe, second place Cavalry. Now, I bring you through this because I always have to talk about this because it always blows my mind. The fan base with Atletico Ottawa is something just unworldly. I've said there are two types of people: people who've gone to games before and understand what I'm talking about, and then there's an audience of people who might not have gone to an Atletico Ottawa game before, and I strongly encourage that they do. As somebody who has seen this, for a significant period of time, as somebody that is receiving all of this love from this fan base, especially our beloved fans in Section W. Tell me about your perspective of the Atletico Ottawa fans, because from my perspective, sitting a few sections over, I think it's just ridiculous the level of engagement and the level of excitement with this team. Obviously, it's compared to a Red Blacks game, it's a smaller audience, but I wouldn't say there's no question from a passion standpoint. It is next level. And I've been following this sport my entire life. And this is something that is just so wonderful to see here in Ottawa. So, from your perspective, and maybe you can speak for your teammates as well, what is that like, receiving all that love from this group of people?
it's unreal. Yeah, there's no market I'd want to leave. I felt like home right away. They welcomed me with open arms, and it is special. And I go to all the sports, right? I was at
Mhm.
Blackjack's home opener this year. Good turnout, had a good time. I always check out the Red Blacks when I can. A few of the boys, we cross paths every day, right? So a
Yeah.
few friends on the team, and love supporting them and love when they're doing well. And yeah, we're just a bit of a different animal. And of course, you go check out Sens games as well. But I think one of the standout moments for me was our semifinal last year. A friend of mine who plays on Dallas Stars was in town for a game against the Sens, and him and a couple of boys came watch our semifinal. He had 2 days off or something. They went Montreal, Ottawa, and after the game, I was chatting with him, and he goes like, "Man, like that's a good time." He goes, "That was like," and to hear someone that's playing in the NHL go like that, atmosphere is different, you know, it puts into perspective. And like you said, it's not 20,000, it's not 40,000, it's not 60,000, but it's a different type of passion. It's a different type of atmosphere. And credit to our marketing team, credit to Fernando Lopez, who, in my opinion, is the best front office in the league. Fernando's done so well putting the team together, setting up marketing, and really making it what it is. And Thomas Stockton is a former fan himself who we've hired from one of these fan groups, and he's been doing a great job bridging that gap. And yeah, it's just you're just proud to be a part of it. And like you said, the people that have been there understand it, and the people that haven't been there yet, you just encourage them to come check it out, and it's a good time. Like it is a good time, and the location in the Glebe area is fantastic. Go have lunch, have a beer, come to the game, make a night out of it, and yeah, you won't regret it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think one word that comes to mind when I think of the experience of going to a game is the engagement. Like people are engaged. You don't see people strolling the concourse and having side conversations. Everybody's engaged in what's going on the pitch. So it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be respectful of your time, and I know you've been waiting for this. It is time to drift into some rapid fire questions. Nate Ingham, have I told you about any of the questions we're going to be discussing today?
No, I haven't heard any of them yet.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Here we
Always
go.
ready.
Keep in mind, these are meant to be nothing more than fun. Don't think about them too much. Otherwise, they're not rapid. All right, here we go. First
Okay.
question. You can give me a top three if you want. It is always, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Dumb and Dumber, Happy Gilmore, Emperor's New Groove. I got
Sorry,
that. I got
sorry.
the
What was?
Emperor's New Groove sweater here.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay. Am I the first person to ever tell you that you give me Aaron Rodgers vibes?
No, I got that last year because he came in blue jeans and a wife beater to preseason, like Nicolas Cage from Con Air,
On
and
air.
I was like, oh, I can't wait. So I'm gonna be rolling into a game like that one day. I can't wait.
That is amazing. Now, of course, you are rocking the adored man bun. Now, I have a question for you. I've seen a lot of fans at TD Place at Atletico games also rocking the man bun. Are you taking credit for kind of revitalizing this fashion craze here in the nation's capital?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I know much about fashion. I don't think anyone should be following my advice, but I in 2019 I grew out my hair and I had a good season. Then a few goalkeepers in the league started growing their hair out. I took it as a compliment, and then yeah, I haven't got away from it.
Okay, your answer is actually a segue into something I was going to talk about earlier, but I'll bump it up. You talk about fashion, and maybe people shouldn't be taking advice from you. But my friend, when you were injured, you were on the sidelines, suited and booted, all snazzied up, and now I noticed that there's like some sort of a partnership with Saint Laurent Shopping Center because I see you guys as you guys do the walk-in. They've got like the whole Saint Laurent thing. Do you not feel that there was somebody perhaps involved with the Saint Laurent marketing who saw this and then decided, hey, we need to partner up with Atletico Ottawa? Do you not think that you were perhaps the impetus to making this happen?
No, no, I can't imagine. If you ask the young boys on our team, I have no idea. I'm just an old man dressed in a suit. But I'll tell you what, a suit's never gone out of style. It's never going to go out of style. I think it's a nice way to walk into the stadium and set an example for the young boys.
I love it.
And fashion trends come and go, but yeah, the suit's always it's always been pretty steady.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I've had a couple of your teammates on in the last few weeks who've said that they're recently new, well, as of this season to Ottawa, and they're always looking for things to do. What is your go-to piece of advice for somebody living in Ottawa for something to do? Because you've been here for a little while yourself.
Yeah, I mean, everything I recommend to people is, food and beverage related. I get them into the right areas, away from, the wrong places that kind of, maybe Yelp will tell you to go to.
Yeah.
So I'm either right in it, and we're, grabbing a nice dinner at, let's say, Nebraska or Supply and Demand or Amati, or I'm telling them to get out of the city, get into wildlife, have a hike over on the Gatineau side or something like that.
Nice, nice. Listen, a lot of times you're standing in nets. You're the flow of the game is on the other side of the pitch. Not so much now with Atletico, because I'm sure it never happens now. But in your goaltending, in your goalkeeping career, has there ever been a time where you were distracted and daydreaming to the point of, did I turn off the stove? Or I wonder if I'm going to make the movie tonight, or things of that nature.
No, you'd be amazed how connected you are at this level to everything. Yeah, you're never distracted. If you ever catch yourself drifting, it's kind of immediate self-talk to get yourself, focus again, because any long ball over the top, any cross coming in, like you have to have your positioning's got to be right, and your body shape and body weight's got to be right. Now, what I will say, and I think this is a good rule for anyone, is that before a match, I make sure everything is sorted in my life. Bills are paid, house is clean, I'm shaved. I'm ready to go. There's nothing that could distract me. My to-do list is completely crossed off, and all that's left to do is win a match.
I love that. I love that. You play a very vital role in on the pitch. Are there who would be the goalkeepers who have inspired you?
Yeah, I think I've had a few that I've just crossed paths with in my life. I've been inspired a little bit more, believe it or not, by goalkeeper coaches rather than actual playing goalkeepers. There's
Sure.
just so much you can learn from them, and there's a few where they've got like a little bit of regret in them because they knew maybe if they had buckled down a little bit more, or if they had made better decisions, or they had a better agent, or if they were to escape injury, or everyone has their own story, right?
Mhm.
Why their career didn't go the way they wanted to, and there's just so much you can learn from people who have already gone through the process. So, I had a few people in my life that, I just really take note of. And even to this day, if I have difficult decisions, I'll reach out to a small group of people in my life where I check in with them and just get an honest opinion out of them. Giant Slopless is a really good friend of mine over at York, and him and I lean on each other, which sounds kind of weird because we're still playing against each other, but just like breaking down doesn't happen often, but breaking down situations, the form we're in, goals we've conceded, and just getting like an honest review from someone that also plays at a high level. I have another friend that plays over in Europe and another in the MLS, both goalkeepers, same thing. We just kind of break shit down. Excuse my language, break things down and chat about it. And former coaches as well, just people in my life that I know are going to give me an honest answer because um, you don't always get that, and even like your current coaches sometimes tell you things that they think you need to hear. Everyone's got their own coaching style, and it's just like, okay, well, I know what I need to hear is the truth. I don't need to be protected,
Mhm.
and that's how I've been with my family, and yeah, it's so certain goalkeeper, like former goalkeepers or professional goalkeepers, no one that's inspired me a ton, but yeah, some really special people in my life that have either coached me along the way or I'm playing against or in the football world with now.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound weird at all. Actually, I think it just speaks to the camaraderie of the league, and heaven forbid we be classy. So I think that's a wonderful thing. Um, Again, last question for you: what can the fans expect from your upcoming game against a team you know a little bit about, York, this coming weekend?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I mean, both of us, I think there's 5 or 6 points separating first and sixth in the top five going to the playoffs, right? So everything is a little fiery. York's last game got real chippy toward the end. Us in Calgary was an absolute battle, just emotionally, physically exhausting. So you're gonna see an exciting game. There's no doubt about it. Two teams that are battling tooth and nail. Not only to make the playoffs, but stay in the hunt for first. We'd love to defend as league champions, so that's our goal. That's what we talk about every day. It's one game at a time, picking up points and catching these teams in front of us. So yeah, you're going to see a determined squad that's going to leave it all out on the pitch, and going to be a lot of fun.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Wishing you, of course, all the best of luck this weekend and for the rest of the season. I continue to see great things happening for this team. This team is just so incredibly impressive, top to bottom. So thank you again for the time and wishing you all the best.
Thanks so much, Keith. We'll do this again when we're celebrating at the end of the year.
I'll look forward to it. You take care.
All right, great. Thank you.